Howdy folks, and welcome to the family farm in Tennessee. A lot has happened since my last farm video, so let's dive in and give you an update on all the fun projects we've been working on. We've got a lot to cover, so let's pick up with what happened beginning in the fall and get you up to speed. In a previous farm episode, we announced the addition of a 1968 M35A1 Deuce and a half military truck to the farm. This classic is still in great shape and features a dump bed conversion, which is perfect for our projects. But this monster has one big problem. The tires are pretty much destroyed by dry rot, so safe on-road use has been out of the question until now. But after a few months of shopping Facebook Marketplace, I found our solution. Alright folks, well I have scored the deal of the century right here. No, these are not for the Overland rigs. This is for the M35. So these are just some beautiful new old stock NOS. So they still got their little sticker things on them for a song. We're fixing a super single, that M35, and put some reliable non-dry rotted tires on it so that we can make some more on-road stuff running to the rock quarry and things like that. So let's get these offloaded. There's still a lot of work to be done getting these things converted over to the M35 format, but for now we just got to get them off the trailer so we can get to the next step. We'll get into the super single conversion process later in this video. Now let's check on the rest of the farm. What do you think they weigh right now?
They're not as heavy as you would think.
Okay.
But they're probably what they dress at 4, maybe.
Yeah.
But I like them bigger, as long as they stay healthy.
Yeah. We do a mix.
I'm adding a little extra corn just so maybe add a little fat to them.
Okay.
Like a little bit of fat on them.
Some fatty thighs.
Yeah.
My mom raises several flocks of these meat birds per year, which puts over 600 pounds of dressed chicken meat in the freezer for the whole family. Almost every ounce of material gets reused on this farm, so these birds spend their wholesome lives on a section of the garden, picking fresh vegetation, gobbling up organic feed, and leaving their rich manure behind to fertilize next year's crop in a cycle that keeps us all well fed. And speaking of well fed, these gigantic steers have reached their optimal size on grass, hay, and organic feed. Weighing in between 1,000 and 1,400 pounds, it's now time to send these beautiful boys off on their final road trip, where they'll get processed into ribeyes, sirloins, hamburger, tallow, and many other delicious cuts of meat for the family and others who have purchased them on the hoof for the high-quality organic beef. This is an important day for the farm, since this is the primary source of income for the farm and will go a long way towards the constant requirement of machinery repairs and upgrades alongside the general farm maintenance. After a full and happy life, the cycle comes to an end as these steers are carefully loaded up and sent on their way to become delicious beef as the new batches of steers roam the farm with their mothers, growing and fattening up for next year's supply. A couple weeks later, these butchered steers make their triumphant return to the farm, aged, packaged, labeled, and frozen to be stashed away in the freezer, then enjoyed. All right, well those big beautiful steers have come full circle, and now it's time to put them into our freezer. We ended up getting a quarter beef. My mom's got, I think, a full beef. My brother's got 3/4, my other brother got a half. We're gonna be eating good. We got plenty of beef to go around. So let's get this in our Facebook Marketplace find freezer. This is probably, I think it's almost $1,000 freezer, and found it at a thrift shop for $250. So it's actually the second freezer that we had to buy. The first one would only run for like 4 or 5 hours. So a little bit of a headache buying secondhand, but I think we got one that's gonna work. All right, well that is just a quarter of a cow. We got our beef ribs, loads of hamburger meat, stew meat, steaks, ribeyes, sirloins, flat iron, cube steak, our roasts, and then up here some soup bones. First time with our homegrown meat. These beauties.
They look pretty.
Stuffed mushrooms. Alright, well, it's been a little bit chaotic. Bounced around doing a lot of different things here lately, especially with fall colors and some of the overlanding that I was doing. But one of the things that I got to do is break in this new chainsaw. Had a problem with the other one. Apparently it's blown. But anyhow, I want to break it in by cutting down these peach and apple trees. Unfortunately, they've reached the age where they're just not producing. They never really had any luck from them. Possibly because there's a little bit of shade here, but they never really produced. So we're going to put them to work though. Chop them up into some small blocks for smoking some delicious food down the line. So yeah, let's start chopping these guys down. This will be a good break-in for the new saw. Oh, there you go. Work together. There you go. Good job. Oh yeah. Good job.
It's working.
It's working.
Yes! You put that one in there. Big one.
Since winter was moving in, we were losing light quickly, so I had to continue this project the next morning. We already had a nice stack of apple and peach wood, which we were excited to experiment smoking with in the future. If you've never smelled this wood firsthand, it's a wonderful aroma and had my mouth watering at the prospect of meat flavored with its sweet smoke. But now we needed to finish taking the orchard down, and like I said before, we use almost everything here on the farm, and thanks to the Woodland Mills TF810 Pro wood chipper, we would not only make short work of the cleanup, but create some wood chips for use around the farm. I wasn't sure if these chips would be useful for smoking, but decided to stash them in the barn to dry out just in case. If not, they'll make some good bedding or even weed control around the garden. While I was at it, I cleaned out some old hedge trees from the fence line and blasted the chips into the smaller side of the chicken pen for the new layer chicks to scratch around in and mitigate the inevitable mud from the winter rains. In just a few hours, the orchard was cleaned up and put to use as we began thinking over a new location for the next one. Alright, well good morning. What a difference it made. Got into the hedge trees and then chipped all that up and blew it into this little side of the chicken run here. Much nicer space here. We will grow some more trees. We just got to figure out the best place to put them because they did not perform the greatest right here. I think it was a little too much shade from those, so I'll try it again. Got the fence rebuilt as well, so that's looking nice. And now I'm going to put in something that I got from my dad, and it's a drive-through electric fence so that he doesn't have to get up and down off the tractor as much and fight the cows from getting out while he's trying to put hay out. Let's dive into that thing. After a fairly quick installation process, I brought my dad out to show him the latest gadget for making life a little easier here on the farm. Now he wouldn't have to get off the tractor every time he needed to feed or check the herd, just simply blast through this electrified gate without worrying about a headstrong heifer sneaking past him. Next, it was time to continue the ongoing project of cleaning up the dead cedar trees on the farm with my daughter Caroline. So do some logging. It's better than video games. Of course, this was mostly an excuse to try out the new toys while spending some quality time with my oldest girl. Worked pretty good. For this task, we would need the big Deuce and wood chipper, which have quickly become my favorite tools on the farm. It's incredible how fast cleanup goes with these two beasts in action, and we soon had another section of pasture free of the down limbs, along with a few more cedar logs ready for the sawmill. A couple hours later, we had a bed full of aromatic cedar chips ready for use, and took a few minutes to enjoy the peaceful sunset as we said goodnight to the beef herd. The next morning, I was at it again, cleaning up more of the trees and stacking the logs in preparation for milling them into long-lasting fence posts. Caroline was busy with her homeschooling, so my nephew joined me for a ride in the M35 as we headed for the chicken coop to give the bigger birds their own fresh bed in the run. All right, got everything all chipped up. Now it's time to make the chickens a little nicer chicken run for the winter time with some fresh cedar. It's been the most impressive part about adding this chipper to the kit is we are using everything. In the past, that would just be stuff that we would throw away, pile up, burn, and now literally every twig is going to use in some way, shape, or form. It's awesome. We even had enough chips left over to give my mom's rose beds some love with a thick carpet of chips to keep the weeds down. The strong aroma from the cedar also had a nice side effect of keeping the bugs away while making the whole area look 100 times better. There really is no limit to what you can do with all these wood chips. Finally, it was time to play with the big wheels, so I enlisted my brother to come help with my strongman competition and move the 515-pound wheel, tire, and run flat combos to where I was staging for the super single swap. I put that up there by hand, so that's probably the easy part.
Yeah.
I'd help, but I'm going to film.
No, yeah. This is just my second workout of the day.
Yeah, there you go.
That is going to be so sick.
Wow. Let's see if that gym's been paying off. Could have got the tractor, but
That's too easy.
got that Thanksgiving turkey coming up. Oh, hold on.
Would help, but this is a little too entertaining.
I guess it's a good thing we've both been hitting the gym these days, or these big guys would have needed the tractor.
Lift with your back, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's just getting a grip on it.
Yeah.
After a little straining, staggering, and good laughs, it was finally time to put these massive 46-inch upgrades on the Deuce. All right, folks, the day has finally arrived. After a lot of research, sourcing, acquisitioning, procuring, all those fancy words. Got everything that I need to mount these big bad boys on this Deuce. Now, like I mentioned before, crazy awesome deal on these wheels and tires. I literally spent $1,400 on what's about $10,000 worth of wheels and tires, so I'm pretty happy. I actually have spent more on the adapters and the hardware to mount the things than I actually spent on them, so really tickled with this upgrade. As you can see, these tires are insane. They're massive. Look, compared to this thing, I can't wait to get them on, but we've got a lot of work to do to get this done. I've got to flip the rear hubs, which is going to be a bit of a project, pulling every single one of those axles in the back, removing the hubs, flipping them over, putting it back in. But it'll be a good chance to check on the life of everything, make sure it doesn't need any maintenance. Let's dig in. No! Come on! Of course, it wasn't long before I found my first issue. One of the front lugs snapped off while removing the stock wheel, and my list of fixes began to grow quickly as we installed the chunky adapter plates. As you know, it wouldn't be a farm video without a cameo from my dad's backside. We're still working on camera awareness here, but I'm thankful for his help in lining up these wheels, since they're a far cry from my usual 33 or 35 inch tires on the Overland rigs. If you're considering a super single swap like this, you want to keep in mind that this is no small task. Each adapter install took about an hour to properly seat, bolt, Loctite, tighten, and then torque the 1-inch grade 8 bolts. I now have a huge respect for the folks who work on semi-tires after wrestling these bad boys. With the adapters installed, it was time to begin the rear hub flip. This process allows a conversion from dual rear tires, which have about a 5-inch offset to the middle of the vehicle, to a single wheel that aligns with the front tires. But it wasn't long before I ran into yet another problem. The inner lug nuts, or bud lugs as they're called, were completely seized on the studs. After trying some rust penetrant and heat from a woefully undersized propane torch, it was clear I would need something a bit stronger. So I carried on with installing the driver's side adapter plates and doing what I could until I could round up a bigger torch and breaker bar. Alright, so this is one of the weirdest parts about a Deuce. The driver's side nuts are backward threaded. So we're going to turn this clockwise. That's a little scary. Hopefully don't break another one. Thankfully, the other bud lugs hadn't been installed by He-Man and came off without too much effort. So now I only had 2 wheels that were froze in place. Definitely don't have as much daylight as we did back in the fall, but still, I got quite a bit done. I think I picked the worst possible one to start with over here though, because the next one came off without any problem whatsoever. I'm hoping the other 2 do the same, and I'm just going to have to figure out how to get those last bud nuts off. But alright, it is getting cold. Let's go inside and try again tomorrow. I did go ahead, as you can see, I did a hub flip just so I could learn what the process is like and got that one installed. So 3 more to go. Having some issues from time to time. It's just big, it's heavy, and it takes a lot of guts. I still got the stuck wheel over there that I got to figure out. But I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this side taken care of today, so if I break anything I can order parts and get that coming. So let's dive in. And this is a special 8-sided nut or socket. These should also be left-hand thread. maybe not. Explain that to me. Seems backwards to me. And this is keyed, so it slides right out of here. This would seem better days. Oh, and these brakes are saturated. Now we flip. Flipping the hubs on a Deuce sounds more complicated than it really is. Thankfully, these hubs provide the right offset for the new single wheels once you unbolt them from the brake drums, drive out the existing studs, drive them back in the opposite side, and then bolt the whole assembly back together. This isn't a permanent fix, but I don't have all the parts to take care of this properly, so I'm going to clean it up, order the parts, and put it all together for now, because we're not traveling across country, barely even across town, so we'll be all right. I truthfully don't know how effective this actually is, but it's the way it was done, so there you go. It's got substantially heavier. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and repack these bearings with some expensive high performance grease I've been using for years. These look really good. I think they're pretty much brand new, to be honest with you. Good old Timkins, made in the USA. I'm going to do it the old fashioned way.
Get the top of your head.
I'm just looking for resistance. We want the bearings to seat, but we don't want to be too tight. And then we're torquing this to about 150 foot-pounds. Hopefully that holds a 13,000 pound vehicle. Now it's time to tackle the frozen bud lugs with some heat and a 3/4 inch breaker bar, since my DeWalt 3/4 inch impact with 1900 foot-pounds of loosening power wasn't budging them. Even after intense heat, the breaker bar and impact refused to move them. With no better options in my toolkit, I decided to go old school in my frustrations and use the BFH method. If nothing else, I plan to break the studs and replace them. But as it turns out, this farm engineering method did the trick and broke the bond. Got the secret. Alright folks, that's probably a common knowledge online with all you folks that work on trucks, but I just figured it out. Alright, well, after 11 cans of brake cleaner, a few busted fingers, maybe a few bad words, finally got these things on. But I I think they look fantastic. Once I learned the trick on getting those bud lugs broke loose, it was on at that point. Very well maintained truck. For a 1968, I was really scared about diving into this project and thinking about all the bolts I was going to break and things like that, but it actually went really well. Thank you to the Army for your rigorous maintenance schedule, which definitely helped with that. Now, this calf is wanting their mama. Now I'm just waiting on lugs to arrive from Boyce Equipment and a few other little bits and pieces. I do have a couple of broken lugs that I need to replace, but the nice part about flipping these hubs is I don't have to take them off to swap the lugs out. I can drive it out and then draw it back in with the impact and a little creativity. So that's going to go pretty smooth. I do have a broke lug on the front wheel, so that'll be its own adventure at some point. Right now, I've got another problem on this truck that I just discovered a few days ago, and that is a hole in the exhaust right at the turbo. So I've got a replacement for that. I'm going to try and throw that in before the rain starts. So let's jump in. I'd say that'll be quite the improvement. It's kind of like Swiss cheese in there. With colder weather making the hoses contract, the return lines for the injectors need a little tightening to fix some substantial diesel leaks before this rig would be roadworthy. I also ended up with a bad wheel seal that required me to dismount and disassemble one of the M-wrap wheels to install a replacement where the two pieces mate together. This was another time-consuming project, so I'm just going to show you the highlights here. My plan was to dismount the wheel entirely, but the backside was stuck fast, mostly due to the sub-freezing temperatures, so I ended up sneaking the seal in from the front instead. Problem solved. With the new 46-inch wheels installed, this beast was ready for some trips to the rock quarry. But its first task was to rescue the Grizz when I hit a patch of greasy mud while attempting to film the AOR Sierra video. This is the worst stuck I've ever been. Even after airing down, the Tundra wasn't about to pull itself out of this drainage ditch, so I called on Sarah and Abigail to rescue me from the quagmire from some recent rains. Alright, a little assistance coming. Turns out, a 6-wheel drive beast with 46-inch tires aired down to 30 psi was going to be handy to have around the farm. Not only did it float over the saturated fields, but it pulled over 10,000 pounds of Overland rig out of the mud with ease. Yep, I'm in love with this machine.
On the steps at a barbecue, I said, what'd you do today? You told me, baby, I flew. You took your solo flight for the very first time. I said, hey, Tar Gun, take me up sometime.
Sundown in the city, I saw you there, dancing to gusto with your long blonde hair. Something in your spirit was wild and free. I said, honey, that's the spirit for me. I said, hey, no, never gonna let you go.
Being home in Tennessee for the holidays was a special treat after 15 years of living out west and missing many of these events. So we took some time off to enjoy the fruits of our labors on the farm with Thanksgiving and Christmas meals featuring meat and vegetables raised right here on the farm. It was awesome to see our extended family members with aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, and a whole wagon load of cousins running through the farmhouse. The highlight of our festivities was the annual gingerbread house competition, and competition was tough this year with every carefully assembled house being fit for a feature on HGTV. I was especially proud of Caroline's entry, which was the winner in my opinion. And no holiday would be complete without some flashbacks to past Christmases with home videos that were actually the inspiration for my career in video making. Well, that's all the time I have for this farm update. Be sure to subscribe so you can see the next episode where the Deuce gets put to work hauling rock, the farm roads get some much needed maintenance, the Cedar Post project goes into full swing on the Woodland Mills sawmill, and we begin planting our spring garden as the story comes full circle with warm weather bringing everything back to life again. Thanks for watching. And y'all come back now, you hear?
I say, hey, no, never gonna let you go.